Hello everyone, this is Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So, did you know that apparently there is some force or some being that is policing black women's sexuality? Look, I saw it on Huffington Post, so it has to be true, right? Hillary Clinton, 98% chance of winning. Look, my grandfather was Native American. I identify as black Native American for the most part. I've only ever identified myself as being black. So if my sisters are in trouble, I want to rectify the situation. I want to get to the bottom of who's restraining their sexuality. So look, the story is broken into kind of three parts. So she's making this argument using three case studies. The first case study is Samantha. Now, Samantha likes long walks, TV dinners, and popcorn. But Samantha is also a little skittish about talking about sexuality around her family. So she had to figure sex out herself. And though this is common for many women, black women often have other obstacles to face when navigating the world of intimacy alone. Black women can have a hard time finding images and spaces that empower them to unapologetically embrace their own intimacy. After all, the sexual trauma they can carry stems from a white gaze that dates as far back as slavery, and exploitation, rape, and fetishization have become synonyms with the black body. That's morbid. Just so I'm understanding this stuff. So the case you're saying, something is policing black women's sexual expression. You start off talking about Samantha. And look, if I'm being fair, I didn't necessarily like talking about sex with my mom either. It sounds like a human thing. It doesn't sound like a woman or a man thing. But beyond that point, it just seems like you're struggling to make this case to show in distinctiveness to make this story. I gotta be honest. It's common for many women, black women often have other obstacles. Okay, I mean, I suppose so. But look, what does it mean though? I mean, can't you make a case to say every race is distinctive within itself? Meaning by virtue of being distinct, you're gonna have different experiences. So, I'm not lowballing experience. We're just kind of making this point of, you seem to be trying really hard to add race into something that just seems to be a case of being a woman. Also, you're saying stop policing black women's body. Why are we talking about slavery? And look, don't misunderstand me. I know what went on. White men were absolutely gross. I mean, beyond that, I get that part. But you're talking about today. Like you're saying, today, some force is restraining black women's sexual expression. Alright, fair enough. And then you're saying this embrace that goes back to slavery. Also, call me crazy, I did not realize that rape, fetishization, exploitation are synonyms with the black body. Nobody told me that. I guess I don't know what the word synonym means. Yeah, I'm sorry, that line is a little heavy. That's all. It just seems so over the top. It feels like you're trying to evoke something. I'm just not sure what. But it seems like it's a tortured way of trying to do it. So, later on, and one more point. She does have an interesting point here, though. So making the point of saying black women can have a hard time finding images and spaces that empower them to unapologetically. Alright. So the argument it sounds like she's making is, look, not having images of ourselves, like not seeing myself reflected back through media in some way, behaves like a societal pressure. It's societal, she's making the case that it's pushing in a particular way. It's as if not seeing my image of the self is almost like society is not giving you its approval. You see your image, you see your image doing certain things with certain people. It's society's way of saying, yes, we agree. All of us do it. It sounds like she's saying, well, the converse is true also. Not being able to see yourself doing those things. In a sense, it's like society saying no. Or at the very least, society not acknowledging that those things are done. I get it, but that's indirect. Like, that's not society forcibly telling you to do something. That's you taking on certain agreements. Like, because understand, at the end of the day, you're the one who has to say, this is what I'm feeling about this. Whatever that is. This is what I'm feeling about this. I guarantee you, nobody cares about your sexuality. I mean, then I understand you're looking at the world and you're saying, these are the structures that are in place with regards to my sexuality. And you're absolutely right. But you're only right because you're making those things right. You have freedom of choice. I understand the societal pressure argument. I get it. I even agree. Not seeing yourself reflected back is a problem. But that's more of a validation thing. That's almost like you're saying, I need society to give me permission to do something. And unless society gives me that permission, I am incapable of doing it. I agree with you that it probably would be easier. But that's a little bit different than saying you're being policed. That's all. That's what I'm saying. So the next case was a couple. And so she says, this is a lesbian couple. She says, both women who have backgrounds in sex education noticed a sexual liberation movement taking place without black women and wanted to change that. I don't know, look, I don't know if there's a black liberation movement. And here's another one. It says, even today, when more and more women are being encouraged to take pride in their orgasms, black women are being left out of the conversation. Why are they leaving black women out of these conversations? Why? Why are y'all doing that to them? They want to talk about their orgasms. Let them talk about their orgasms. This woman was so scared to talk about her orgasms. She did the Huffington Post article. Yes, I'm teasing a little bit. I don't know who's keeping you from talking about your orgasms. I'm sorry. I don't. Maybe I am massively out of touch. That is absolutely possibly true. I just have a hard time believing that there are groups out here that says, yeah, no blacks. No. You won't be talking about your orgasm here. We can't deal with your black orgasm. I have a hard time believing that, but okay. Look, man, like I said, a lot of this feels like they're forcing it. Like, some of this stuff just feels like these things are just partial to being a person. These things are partial to being a woman in society in general. And look, by no means I'm making the case that it's not that's necessarily easy. I guess I'm just making the case of saying they're struggling so hard to carve black women out of the stone in order to hold them up in the article. It's like, you're a person. You're no better, no worse. You're just a person. We're all just people. Yeah, it just seemed like they're straining to make the argument, or to make this connection, or this tenuous thread. So, there's another part that, I gotta be honest, kind of annoyed me. So, she says, Lex Brown James, PhD, founder of the Institute of Sexuality and Intimacy, told HuffPost that as a society has forced black women to apply respectability politics to their dress, tone, and hair in order to succeed. It has done the same thing with their sexuality. I have no idea what that means. If we sleep with too many people, we're too sexually open. We're whores. We're not good enough, Brown said. If we're chaste, then we're virginal and nobody's going to want us. And we're trying to figure out what that is. I think that's black women have been not allowed to fully and truly experience their intimacy. So, I just read it. As Sa Filayo noted, there's something radically beautiful and politically empowering about a black woman embracing pleasure and breaking out of the molds we didn't create for ourselves. My orgasm is the biggest fuck you to white supremacy ever. Despite everything you've done to my body, It experiences immense pleasure, and I'm going to fully embrace and rejoice in that. So I think, for me, I definitely see it as a form of activism. Can we just agree that your orgasm is not activism? There's a stark difference between Martin Luther King getting his ass kicked on the bridge in Georgia and you getting your rocks off, having an orgasm, talking about, this is my best fuck, you know, white supremacy. Ugh. Come on, man. Come on, dog. You're trying too hard. I'm sorry. You're trying too hard. You're trying to make this thread between these things that don't exist. Are you telling me that somehow, if we sleep with too many people, we're too sexually open? If we don't sleep with enough, we're virginal? You honestly believe that's specific to black women? Look, man, I have discovered who's policing your sexuality. It's you. You have freedom of choice. You can be whoever you want. I absolutely agree with you that there's a societal pressure in the sense of not necessarily being able to see yourself in particular images or whatever. Fair enough. But that's indirect at best. Ultimately, you still have choice. You can choose to be whatever you want it to be. Nobody's going to care. I promise. Nobody cares. I didn't care until I saw your article. And look, I don't want to be too cavalier about it. I guess it just feels like the article is struggling to inject race into something that I strongly suspect is more akin to just being a woman. It's not easy. I get it. But trying to carve out distinctiveness in this way. And it's not like, look, I would even agree with you that there are things that you're going to be distinct on. But all of the races, just by virtue of being a specific race, is going to have a distinctive experience. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man, your orgasm is not an activism. I'm sorry, it's not. Your orgasm is just an orgasm. It's what everybody else's orgasm is. You're just getting your rocks off. Thanks, guys.